guys! So, I know what you're thinking. Well, what a surprise. The incorrigible planner addict has bought yet another new planner. But actually, for one of the only times in my entire life, I can say I didn't buy this planner. This was lent to me by my closest friend IRL, who's also quite fond of planners, and she let me have this for a couple of days so that I could make a video about it. So this is her new 2017 planner. As you can see, it's a Leuchtturm A5. And I wanted to do a review of this because the Leuchtturm notebooks are extremely popular, obviously, for bullet journaling, but I feel like the planners, for some reason, are not that popular, and you don't see them very much on YouTube. And my friend and I are both extremely fond of bound planners. You know, I'm a big fan of bound planners, so I always like to, share bound planners when I come across them. And this isn't one that I'm using myself, but I like it, and I think that it's nice to, be able to have a look at it in case anyone is interested in it. So this is an 18-month academic week planner. This is not the most common type that you see. The one that you, at least for me in the UK, when I search on Amazon, which is where I get most of my stuff, if you search for Leuchtturm planners, it will come up with the Verso layout, which is kind of like the Hobonichi Weeks layout, where you have all of the days of the week on the left-hand side, and then you have a page of notes, of lined note paper on the right-hand side. That's the most common one that you see. So this is not that one. This is a different layout completely. This is a week on 2 pages vertical layout, which I actually prefer. I really like this one. So it starts on the 1st of September 2016, and it goes until the end of February 2018. So it's kind of like, it's an academic planner, but then it goes a bit further. It's an unusual layout in terms of the dates. I think you don't see many planners that are 18 months but that run like this. It's more common, I think, the Happy Planner or Erin Condren type, where it starts in July and goes until the following December. So let's have a look at this. This is obviously the A5 size. You can get some Leuchtturm planners in different sizes, like A6. But I think, as far as I know, this vertical layout only comes in the A5 size. So this is the olive green one. As usual for Leuchtturm, you can get various different colors. The selection for this type of planner, I don't think is as wide as, like, say, for the A5 notebooks, but you can get them in a few different colors. So I really like this olive green. So it's got the elastic, and she hasn't started using it yet, so it's kind of just as you get it. And then it's got this paper, which I will take off. She saved it especially and didn't start using it so that I could do the review while it was, still completely empty. So I have to give this back to her tomorrow because she's quite keen to start using it. So when you open it, you get that little leaflet, which I just took out here, which gives you some information about Leuchtturm, the company, which is the same as in the notebooks. And this is the hardback. As far as I know, this only comes in hardback, this layout. And so if you're familiar with the notebooks, then you'll recognize this. It's got the logo, and then it has name and address. And this is on like a thick cardstock. And then you have one blank page, and then you have 2016 year at a glance, which is quite nice because this starts in September 2016. Monday start. It's a very nice sort of subtle gray print. And it's got the week numbers labeled next to the months, which I think is nice. And then you have 2017 and 2018. Then it goes into this vertical monthly layout, which I really like as well. This you get in Moleskines, or you used to get them. They've taken them out and replaced them with the month on one page. So I really like this because it's very convenient just for seeing at a glance, either for tracking. It's kind of like the Hobonichi layout, except that obviously this one doesn't have the grid paper. So starting with September 2016, it starts with the first of the month, goes to the end of the month, and Sundays are in bold. And then you have a line under every Sunday, so it distinguishes one week from the next, which I think is really nice. I personally like this for like kind of bird's eye, big picture planning, events, when I'm going to be away, like when I'm teaching, that kind of thing. I think it's really convenient just to be able to see the whole, this is half the year in one spread, and then you get the next the next 6 months, and then the next 6 months after that. So I think that this is really like compact, considering that it's an 18-month planner. It's it's just like the same size as a Leuchtturm A5 notebook, so you really get a lot for your money, and also for the size. It's not that bulky at all. Now, this is a really cool feature of Leuchtturms that I think I prefer to. The closest equivalent to this planner is the Moleskine vertical week on 2-page layout. And as you know, if you've heard my other Moleskine videos, not everyone agrees with me, but I think that a lot of the pages at the front of the Moleskine are not the most useful, or like I would rather have blank note pages, or just have them left out because I don't use them. I know that some people do, so it's a bit controversial, but I prefer the way that they do it in the Leuchtturm, where they don't have very many pages at the front, and the ones that they do have are quite useful. So this is International Holidays 2016, then you have International Holidays 2017 and 2018. And this is like in this really cool grid. So you have a whole list of countries running along horizontally at the top. Like there are a lot of countries: Albania, Algeria, Andorra, all the way down to Ukraine, United Kingdom, USA, and Vietnam. And then it's got the months running down the side, and then it lists where each country has a holiday. So if you wanted to see like kind of all the holidays for the year in the country that you live, you can just check this list, and it makes it really convenient internationally. Then we get another really cool spread, which is unique to Leuchtturm, certainly in terms of the bound planner market. You get this project planning page. So it lists your months. So it's got July, August, September, October, November, December, and then January through June here. And then so it starts in 2016, goes to 2017. Then you have the second half of 2017, and then here you have 2018. So it goes until June 2018. So it actually goes further than the planner itself goes. And you've got one column per day, and then it's blocked off into, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So I think that this would be, in my mind, this is probably best suited for tracking, because you have like one little box per day in a number of different categories. So you could divide this into like, say, exercise, any other like number of things that you want to do, like for routines or something. Or if you're using this for a work planner, then you could use it for tracking like various work things that you have to do on a regular basis. So like, for example, I have to check, I'm admissions tutor for my department in my university, so like every day I want to check the electronic platform where the admissions come in. So like that sort of thing, it's really easy just to say, if you write it in here, like check admissions, and then you can just tick every day and you know you have to do it. So I think it's really good for habit tracking. But obviously the title that they give it, project plan, gives me the idea that they sort of envision you using it. It's open, you could use it in any way that you want, but possibly you could also use it to map out like kind of large scale projects. So if you say, like, I don't know, this is another example from my real authentic life, organizing a conference. So these are the things that I want to get done in July, say, and then I could kind of like tick them off when I've done them. That's another way that I think I would imagine you could use it, so that you can like kind of see the big, like large scale phases of a project. And here in gray, they've printed the week numbers, which I kind of like in theory. I never actually think that way. Like when I have planners, like my Hobonichis mark the weeks, so it's like, this is week, whatever it is, 44, I think. I never actually use that system, but I kind of like knowing that it's there. So that's the project pages. I think this is a really cool feature. And then it goes straight into the week on 2 pages. So it starts at the end of August. So August, September 2016 at the beginning of that week. So I'll go ahead to our current week just so that it feels kind of like we're in the now rather than in the past. So this is the current week. And obviously every week is the same. So what you get, this are the bookmarks. You get a Monday start, and you have a timeline, an hourly timeline from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m., which I think is pretty good. It's not as long of a timeline as Hobonichi, but it's quite good for these timelines. It's a bigger timeline than Moleskine. I'm going to compare this a lot to Moleskine because that's the most similar type of planner to this one. So Moleskines normally only go until 8 p.m. So I think that this is quite nice, and it's a pretty generous box. You get like a, if you can see here, you get like a kind of this like little box per hour, so it's kind of, it's ruled off. My only issue with this, aside from the fact that it only goes until 10 instead of later, is that it doesn't give you a line per half hour. It only gives you a line per hour. And I find that really difficult because often I have meetings and things that are like, you know, half an hour long or an hour and a half long. And so it would be nice to be able to say, you know, like 7 until 7:30. Not that I ever do anything that early, my goodness, but like say 1 until 1:30. And then, you know, something else 1:30 to 2. But this is wide enough that you could actually fit two things onto the same line if you had small handwriting. And my friend, by the way, is going to feature in an episode of, in a video on this channel later. We want to make a joint video where we go through her 2015-16 Leuchtturm, because she used this last year as well, and like kind of, you know, show how she plans and what she's done with it so you can see it in action. So stay tuned for that if you, you know, like delicious bound plannery Leuchtturm goodness. So yeah, 7 until 10, and then at the bottom you have quite a bit of space for notes. So I think that this is good as well because, you know, if you put your appointments here, then you can put just your random notes here. There's a dedicated space for it. And on the holiday topic, they also print at the bottom of the page every country that has a holiday on this day. So this is quite convenient because if you don't want to have to check this list at the beginning every time you want to know if it's a holiday, you don't have to. You know, this is kind of like those lists that you often see in planners where they list national holidays, like for the US or something, you know, for a specific country at the beginning, but then they'll also put it in the body of the planner. It's like that, but it's international. So it won't tell you what the holiday is, but probably if you live in the country, you know what the holiday is. So just the fact that it reminds you that there's a holiday on this day is convenient. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then this is like my deal breaker. If you know me, this won't be a surprise to you. This is the one thing that really disappoints me about this planner, shared weekend. So obviously a lot of planners do this, and I assume that they've done it here for two reasons. One, probably because this is a sort of more traditional kind of like work-oriented planner, not that you have to use this only for work, but I think, you know, that it's coming out of that sort of like Filofax, and Moleskine does it as well, like sort of I think there's kind of a standard which is assuming that you're mainly using your planner sort of during the work week, and on the weekend you don't have as much to do. And so I think that's just one reason, because that's, you know, kind of the tradition. And then another reason obviously is because the columns would be narrow otherwise. But I would rather have narrow columns and have a space for notes on the side with the leftover space, but that's just me. I know that's not for everybody, and a lot of people don't mind it. So the weekends you don't have a timeline, you just have 4 boxes, and then you have a little space for notes. And then you do have some more space at the bottom here. It gives you a snapshot of the month at the very bottom, but you have a bit of blank space here for notes, and then it gives you the week number at the bottom, and it tells you the month and the year at the top. So that's what the weekly views look like, and then they just continue. So then we go into 2017, all the way through 2017, and then you get the first 2 months of 2018. So that's the end of the week on 2 pages. Then we have a few blank pages for notes, so about 8 pages, I think, or so. And then you just have this, you know, this back page here, which is the sturdier cardstock. And a nice feature that Leuchtturm includes is the pages are blank at the back, but they give you this sheet which is lines on one side and grids on the other. So if, like me, you don't like writing on blank pages because it makes your handwriting crooked and you feel all at sea and confused and not at all like using a planner is supposed to make you feel, which is, you know, like nice and happy and in control, then you can put this underneath it and you've got some guidance here. So it's kind of nice because it's, I guess, their way of making this sort of cater to all people, because some people don't like having lined paper at the back. And then you have the traditional pocket that you always get in Leuchtturms, which is, you know, has this like nice reinforced kind of cloth feeling on the side. And you also get this sheet of labels, which you can use to label the spine, or to label the front, or to label the inside cover. And that's the back, and it just says Leuchtturm 1917 on the back, and it's getting crumbs on it, but it's they come off very easily. So that is the Leuchtturm 1917 A5 week on 2-page vertical planner. The only other thing that I haven't mentioned is that you get the usual 2 bookmarks. If you're familiar with Leuchtturm notebooks, they're exactly the same. There's one that's in the color of the cover, and then there's another one that's striped gray and black. Actually, in this case, it looks very similar to the green. I'm not sure if it's green or black. It could be that it's olive green, and it just kind of is showing up very close to black on here. So there it is. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back again soon.